Hey, delighted to have you with us as always. So let's talk about clients sort of expanding the scope of what's sometimes called work creep as well, where they're trying to go a little bit above and beyond what was agreed with you, and not always for more kind of investment on their side. So this kind of project creep, work creep, expanding the scope, going beyond what was agreed, is something that you will almost certainly face as part of your freelancing career from a number of clients. And it's your job to be mindful of this and to kind of restrict what can happen. So there's a few ways to look at it, right? So some clients won't even necessarily realize, and this is where it's important throughout your, onboarding and sales process with prospects and clients to really explain in detail what to expect, what will they get from you. In terms of outcomes, and that also includes your time, not necessarily on the project work, but in terms of calls, and reporting calls. How often they might want to be, checking in with you or speaking to you. How often is that going to actually happen? If you set that from the start, because that's one of the big areas of this kind of project creep that can happen, is that they want to keep speaking to you, and you get contacted every day. You get emails, you get phone calls, and you can imagine obviously how unproductive that's going to make you when you're actually just trying to focus and do your work. If you had a number of these clients, it almost becomes impossible to get any work done. So you need to first of all avoid them. But we talk about that in the red flag side of things. But let's say you do have a good quality client, and it's more on you then to set those expectations so they're clear up front. And if they start to then just creep and say, "Oh, can we just move that monthly call to bi-weekly, or can we just go weekly with those calls?" That's where you need to step in. And what you need to say is something along the lines of explaining it in their favor. Because if you just go back and give a flat no, they're going to be frustrated. But if you say, if I'm the client here and the person I'm working with explains to me, "Okay, I understand why you'd like to do that. What I would suggest is we keep to our existing communication setup, because if we go weekly with the calls, it's going to take away my time in terms of focus time to actually deliver the work that you want. And then so maybe on the monthly call, we can go into a bit more detail, or I can share more updates with you throughout the project if that's what you require. But in terms of the calls, I don't believe that will actually help us achieve the better results." So you're trying to explain it in a benefit that makes sense to them, rather than just giving them a flat no. So it's an explanation as to why. Now, the other way to look at these scenarios where prospects or clients are asking for some more time or more service, or trying to get things on top of their package, is actually then you can move into the upsell mode. And this is a really good one where you say, "Yeah, of course, absolutely, very happy to do that. This would be the cost to do that, to increase your package." And that's where you'll kind of weed out the ones that are serious about actually saying, "Okay, great," and maybe those ones that are just trying to chance their arm a little bit and trying to creep a little bit of extra work on their agreement, which wasn't actually in place at the start, and see if they can just get that off you for free. So that's a really good way to say is, explain why you would not suggest it, but then say, or if you're happy to do that, these would be the fees. This would be the additional cost on top of what we've already agreed to offer that service, to have more client communication time, whatever it might be. You can do that. So it's very tempting not to do these things, because if you're not naturally like a salesperson, and sometimes people find it awkward and difficult, but you can get taken advantage of by certain clients. We like to think that most clients aren't like that, which we hope so. But unfortunately, there will be situations where they'll see this opportunity to get a bit more of your time and more work without actually paying for it. So these are a couple of foolproof plans, really, to stop that from happening. And often, particularly those ones that maybe add chance to their arm a little bit, when you do that, it'll stop it. It will shut it right down, because they'll either say, no, okay, well, we can't do that because we can't invest anymore, and they'll just stop requesting, because they'll know that you're not the type of freelancer or supplier that can be sort of played with these games type thing. So something to be mindful of. It can be real damage to your freelance business if this happens too often. As I say, imagine 3 or 4 clients like this, where you're over servicing them. They want to speak to you every day. It's going to be a very stressful situation for you, but you're not going to be able to get any work done, which means the quality will drop, and it's just going to not do you any favors. So for your own sake, but also for the client's sake, most importantly on that front, you do need to make sure you're quite strict with these things, and don't let it overtake your business. Okay, brilliant. I hope that was a helpful one. As always, any comments, let us know below, and I'll see you on the next one.